invite you? Or is that not why you invited me? Because you saw me sparking the change and doing something? Organizers, is that not why you invited me? We have the media. And it's a tool that heralds invention. A tool that is going to break our boundaries. Let's go to some statistics next slide. An average young person spends about 4 to 6 hours on their phone. Well, and for those that are very much younger, they probably will spend up to 10 hours on their phone. So if you put that in context, weekly, we can say you and maybe a lot of people will have at least 26 to 42 hours of weekly exposure to digital media, which means a huge chunk of information you consume, whether positive or negative. I mean, good. Some of you, those of you that like Bobrisky, you consume Bobrisky. Those of you that like very dark man, you consume. Those of you that like portable versus cyberboard. Those of you that like what is it, everything. Those of you that like cryptocurrency, you are consuming a lot of media. Let's go to more statistics. Now, people spend, the next slide. So, people spend on average 6 hours and 40 minutes per day on their screen. Android users spend about 10 trillion minutes watching YouTube videos. 41% of American teens spend over 8 hours daily on screen. Gen Z averages 7 hours and 18 minutes of daily screen time. And in South Africans actually spend about 9 hours a day. I think we need to do Nigerian study because all of this, what are the youth in Nigeria spending? So let's go to the next slide. So let's see what's the category of people, and if you look at this, the millennials, Generation X, and Boomers, obviously, you see that the millennials are topping the list of people that consume and spend most hours on social media, which means you spend almost 9 years of your life on your phone. So when you're not making a change, you are spending 9 years or something. Next slide. Well, this is so I'm sure many of you should be born within, let's see, am I correct? 1981 to 1996, right? That's demographic set. Okay, 1999 to 2012. Okay, so majority of you belong to Generation Z. That's Gen Z now, and that means on an average, that this was just from a poll, you spend about 7.3 hours on your phone or on media. Let's look at states and let's see how much Nigerians even use media. Next slide. So obviously, we expect Lagos has the highest amount of people using digital media, closely followed by Ogun. And you'll be surprised, Kano comes third. And you have 9 million people active internet users. Next slide. So what is health equity? 2 words, health equity. Well, I'm sure we all know health. Equity is absence of unfair, avoidable, or irrevocable differences among groups of people, whether these groups are defined socially, economically, demographically, geographically, or by other dimensions of inequality. And health equity is what? Achieving something whereby everyone, don't forget, everyone, irrespective of your race, your gender, your age, your sexuality, your religion, your tribe, your ethnicity, making health accessible to everyone. And one thing is, next slide. Oh, I wish I had this. Next slide. Okay. Next slide. One thing in Nigeria, there's a gap in healthcare delivery. Well, I'm not sure if you have people in their clinical years in, but when you launch into the world out there, you will see that there's a big gap in healthcare delivery in Nigeria. Some of you that have lost maybe a loved one, family members to the inadequacy of the Nigerian health system, you will agree with me that there is a big gap that needs to be filled. And it is interesting to know that in Nigeria, we still have very crazy death rates. I mean,
if he's talking, if he's explaining, you be on. If he says next slide, then you go on.
Last year, we still had an outbreak of cholera.
You ensure that it's showing everything on the slide.
Malaria is the biggest killer globally.
You should get it.
Now, okay, this is not complete. WHO recommends that we should have at least one doctor to about 600 patients Nigeria has about one doctor to 100,000 patients. And for specialties like neurosurgeons, you have about one neurosurgeon to 1 million people. So when I see people racing, I know you don't like your life. Because if you are racing, you are speeding. In a country whereby one neurosurgeon can attend to 1 million people, then you don't value your life. And that's why, sorry to say, sometimes
So
when you
if it's that you want
people are
to
racing with their legs or something like these guys are confused. On this way. So equity, equality, next slide. This is what it looks like. Equality is like, okay,
people that are online,
equality, let's say we have this maybe child, the woman, and you start. But equity is what? Tailoring something so that everybody at the end of the day that if you have access to the same thing. What is good and not good for Uganda? So that's the important of equity. So next slide. So how do we really talk? Because we're talking about 3 things now. Media and social change, leveraging digital health, and health equity. How then do we make this change? Because you are using your phone.
This one is for up and down.
You are involved in digital health. So how can the media affect social change? Various things. We're going to explore all of them. From health content to health advocacy, influencing, podcasts, telemedicine, collaboration, health articles. So let's just talk about them quickly. So next slide. Health content to start with. If you go on social media, there's a depth of misinformation and information. You'll be somewhere, I'm always in fights, so I like to use a practical scenario. I'm always in fights with celebrities. A lot of them have blocked me, a lot of them insult me, it's part of it. There's this guy, he guys actually good. I hope this does not get to Insta blog because normally, Insta blog, I was on Insta blog like 2 days ago for, what did I do like Insta blog? Okay, over that guy, you understand? So there's this guy called Fekomi. I don't know, I mean, everybody knows this called Fekomi. So the guy sells stuff. They brought me to one podcast. And they were trying to talk about also and stuff. And they were like, Fekomi was telling people to, I think he said should unripe bananas, they should put it in water and drink it to cure ulcers, something like that. And a lot of people, thousands of Nigerians do that. Then when their stomach perforates, they come to the hospital and die. You will say Nigeria has happened to you. No, you happened to yourself. Because on media, there's misinformation and information. And one way the media changes health content. The media has become a reference book where people go to find answers. I'm sure some of you will have your grandma sending TikTok videos out. I saw this, I saw that. If you don't arm yourself with information, you won't be able to tell them what's the right thing. Are you with me? Anybody with me? You can relate to those videos.
I'm setting it.
If you can remember that time when Ebola, I hope you guys know Ebola, they were telling us to drink salt. My grandparents said this I should be drinking salt, like 4 spoons in water. People were doing it fast with salt. It's information. The media has tried to change my words, countering misinformation. And that's why
after
people like myself, Dr. David is also here with me, creating the ideal content to information. Obviously, we have health professionals that we need to also back that with privacy, confidentiality, and facts. You know that invited thinking about the kind of doctor that always puts out content. I will tell you that if you want to score 90 out of 100 in your exams, go and take banana plus guava, grind it, add the root to it, and add olive. But if you do that, people will do it. Next slide. Well, media channel, I'm sure. Next slide. Everyone is on at least one. From Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, Telegram, TikTok, Facebook, and all of that. To are building. The next is health advocacy. If you are going to leverage digital health network, digital health programs to spark health equity, which is providing healthcare, another way the media has become a change is to in the power of health advocacy. And it's an emerging field in digital place and the global world. Now the world knows that because everyone spends maybe 5 to 7 hours of their life on social media. So why not let us, leverage on this? So you will find a lot of multinational, big companies. Mention any big company in Nigeria, from MTN, Sando, just mention everyone. All of them leverage on health advocacy because they know that if we are going to get to the grassroots level and ensure health equity, health advocacy is one. And you see a lot of them collaborating with healthcare workers in the media space. But sadly, there are few people in this, and so it goes back to what I said. there's a paucity of help in the health equity space. Next slide. Health influencing. Well, people say I'm a health influencer. I don't really like that word. Health and influencer. Next slide. Is someone who gives opinions, views to shape other people's ideas. And let me tell you something. You are a product of any influencer you follow. If you are following Instagram watch, trust me, in time, some of our ideologies will be present in you. If you know you don't want to do or believe in what people are saying, there's no reason to be following. Don't deceive yourself. Now, health influencing has been a major force driving health equity in a lot of lower and middle income countries, because these countries know that we have people, misinformation and all of that. So we need to partner with opinion shapers to leverage their network to ensure health equity. So this is where these people come in, and I'm sure you know a lot of them. They are top health influencers all around the idea. Next slide. Another way that digital health has been able is podcasts. There are a lot of podcasts. I've been on podcasts, but podcasts in a way where you get to strike conversations, and these conversations strike a change in assessing and making sure we put in programs starting with health equity. So they're not just conversations. You have cerebral conversations pushed via the media, and they are fast becoming a medical tool where media make medicine, because a lot of people know that you are going to watch podcasts, you're going to watch this person, you're going to see Tasha, you're going to see Fina, all these people coming. So why can't we use this for health equity? So it's another emerging field. And I just put there the last line is, we have podcasts that have addressed public health issues, tackled serious information, and have changed policies. Next slide, and I will still come to that shortly. Telemedicine, another digital frontier. I said earlier that the ratio of patients to doctor is low. So then, if we have the media and people are consuming media, it means we can make what? Media and medicine become equal. That means rather than go to hospital, you can then create something to bring hospital to people. Because a lot of people go to hospital, they don't want to go. But go to hospital on the internet, they will go, they will Google their symptoms. And people like that, and young people, so it's not far-fetched. Why I'm going through all this? Because young people like you are the next answers to the country's problem. If you can think it, you can do it. Identify problem, connect with people in such space, and do something. Well, next slide, health articles. Another way that has leveraged digital health to advocate for health equity. You have a lot of health articles, blog posts, and what it does is it simplifies health topic to pass message to the non-medical audience, because a lot of the quack practices, a lot of the people that are victims of this are people in the low income. They are the ones that if they always treat malaria and typhoid every month. Just to say, if you go to any hospital and they say, treat your malaria and typhoid, they are scamming you. There's nothing like malaria and typhoid everybody. So don't let anybody make money off you. Health equity. Other things, webinars, spaces, clubhouses, meetings, all of that. These are ways and other digital tools. So, next slide, mental health. Everybody's going to, you're always talking mental health. With media, there has been a lot of advocacy around things like anxiety, depression, suicide, because these are real issues. There are a lot of people that commit suicide because of things. People get cyberbullied on the internet, they get so sad, and they take their lives. So, another way the media has helped is that because of these companies, corporations, the government is leveraging the media to address mental health. Now, people are more aware of things like psychosis, depression, food disorder, and we have a lot of apps, digital tools that are helping to create health equity in the mental health space, and also mental health campaigns. And also a month back, GSK was doing something around autism and all of that. Well, next slide is collaboration. So there are various ways healthcare practitioners come in, like was read in my bio, working with multinationals, being consultant, director of health, various opportunities abound. Okay, next slide. So this is a picture. All right, so this is a picture that was posted. And I Asoro, it was me collecting. Well, they didn't read my full bio that I sent to them. But currently, I'm the media strategist for salt restriction in Nigeria with the special advisor to the president. Thank you. I appointed so that is Dr. Salman, the special advisor to the president, and that's me, where we're presented the plaques at Asoro. And how did it happen? I gave you that's why I said the world sees you. So if you are the one that watch what goes on the social media, it's come insulting people, insult the body insult people that you should be learning from. Trust me, the world is watching. So I was just doing my thing, and I got this email one day. This, you like to have your Asoro, you like what you're doing, come on, that's what I talk about it. So that was me, and I worked with I still work with the Federal Ministry of Health, National Network for Health and all of that, and we try to shape policies around salt restriction in Nigeria because excess intake of salt and instead of things like high blood pressure, kidney disease, obesity, heart attacks, and all of that. So basically, what they wanted me to do was to work with them in the media space to enlighten Nigerians that excess salt is not good for you. I was found through the media. I used the media to strike a chain, and now we're having help in the space whereby we are using non-communicable disease, the media. So if you think the media is, let me go and read it to insult and drag people, I hope you think twice. Okay, next slide. So in 2023, I like to put this. One of the things now, my own way of content is I like to tackle misinformation. How many of you know Olamide Makolo? I think he had blocked me on Twitter, by the way, because after this fight, I think he blocked me. And it was nothing personal, it was just me being truthful. So, Olamide was going to have this thing called balloons. I don't know. He said we are 1996 to 2012 here, so that means we have never grown in our life, right? But there's something called balloons. So balloons are, I'm sure you see what music videos, you see some people blowing balloons. If they are not blowing balloons, there is a gas inside that balloon called nitrous oxide. So they usually get high. It's a drug. Obviously, I just went and tackled Olamide that, this is not you are influential, young people are looking up to you, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, that post blew up. I just woke up next morning to so many calls. Headlines, a Nigerian doctor has cried out online while reacting to rapper Olamide. Everybody was doing content about it. The thing went viral. Olamide from the attacking me that, but Brother Boy thought this, Whiskey thought this, I did not attack. Why not attack? Bloggers, I made my name was everywhere. TVC was running content. It was like, the whole world was like, what have I done? I was just saying something that's right. Doctor calls out Olamide for drug abuse. Nigerian doctor calls out singer Olamide. But people were calling me that. Why? You're trending. I said, yeah, we're trending for the right thing. But here's where I'm going to. Next slide. There's negativity to the next slide. So this was a garbage. This was now changed the narrative. The Olamide are doing trouble as doctors. They said I summoned NDLA. So people started insulting me. Can you imagine? You told NDLA to arrest me. It was very crazy. And it's fine. Going all out. I said, but all of it are online. You cannot do anything offline. Now, but the thing is, I'm going somewhere. Next time, my post goes to NDLA. So the next day, I got a call from Abuja that the head, the GG of NDLA was impressed with what I did. I was like, wow, we have a young person. In this world, we're trying to fight this. So the next day, NDLA banned balloons in Nigeria. Media changed. You guys follow the flow. So the next day, NDLA put out a statement. It was on the point that right now, balloons are illegal in Nigeria. If you are caught with balloons, you go to jail. This is the headline. NDLA goes after laughing gas. Now, it gets more interesting. Next slide. Well, if you look at it, the NDLA has kicked off the crackdown exercise for the illegal selling of nitrous oxide. After and use of nitrous oxide, popularly known as laughing gas. After, you see that name, Olushina Ajidan, a medical doctor, it was a conversation, but what? It has sparked a change. You can do it. There's nothing stopping you. Oh, thank you very much. And I then got a national honor, and then I got a chance to collaborate with NDA. So up to today, I work with NDA in the media space. Next slide. Next slide, please. Well, World Health campaigns, well, they detected globally. How many do I have left? Let me see. Okay, good. World Health campaign. Basically, another way that the world is changing stuff is in the spirit of World Health campaign. Well, it was not said in my bio. I belong to a team of influencers that work with the World Health Organization called the Fitness Network, and we work with the World Health Organization to promote healthy behavioral habits and all of those. So every time there are days we have World something, like December on the World AIDS Day. So basically what we do is that we work with some top influencers and all over, like we selected some people all over the world, and we work to create content and stuff with the organization to tackle this information. I mean, the last 5 years, when they did that, they saw that they were saying all the time when it's things like HIV, hepatitis, sexual behavior, and people that have been improved because the World Organization invested so much in social media and has seen a change. All right, next slide. In 2024, so the Association of Commissioners all over the world, all over Nigeria, they came together to start this health campaign called Numbers Campaign. So I worked with the commissioner in Ogun State, Dr. Tomi Koka, and basically what it was that the governors we made the governors to make videos about telling people, know your numbers, know your blood pressure, know your blood glucose, know all of that, and we then put out this content, and it generated a lot of and the initiative was to foster health equity and the behavioral change. So the governors, I was going to put a video, but it was not playing the video of Tapo Abiodun, also joining the campaign. We had a lot of governors who were joining the campaign, and governors were just they created content so they encouraged the public to join and get free healthcare, leveraging media. So your governors, your presidents all know that media now is now a digital health tool you can use for health equity and long is going there. All right, next slide. So this is just the flyer we used, and the goal was to screen 10 million Nigerians. And I was going to put the statistics there, but I don't know where I kept the figures of after we ran the campaign. Okay, next slide. NAFDAC has used this. If you follow NAFDAC, you will see that they use media to enlighten people. The fake is last week there was fake Prosinol. So if somebody says I am taking Prosinol and they say this is my period, trust me, they are fake Prosinol, and NAFDAC has used this channel to also advocate for health equity by using the media to source policy, like I said, working with NHD, CAPA, and other stakeholders, and all helping to elevate health equity. Next slide. I think that should be the last. In conclusion, social media remains a tool to drive a positive change. And I think I've opened our eyes to see now social media remains a digital tool we can use to leverage health and health promotion, health equity. And it has evolved from being a channel of entertainment to infotainment. So a lot of information, misinformation, right information in social media space, and it's a tool to help achieve health equity. Now, I'm saying all of this when I say, but Dr. Shino, you are there. No, you can start now. Network for people. If you have a role model or someone you like to be, send them a DM, send them an email. If they don't respond, will you die? No, you will move on. But you'll be so lucky the day that you get a response and the person says, I would like to network with you. So, the future is now. Those that can see it can shape it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I want us to do something. I want us to rise up. Thank you. I want us to rise up. Now, I don't want you to do this religiously. You just share because an inspiring story. And I think you deserve these flowers for that. Because of the action of one man, NDA banned the use of balloons in Nigeria. When I heard that, I was like, wow. Somebody say, wow. 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 And you also agree with me that was an inspiring session. And if you truly agree with me, I think we deserve to celebrate it in our whole unique way. 1, 2. Can you make it louder? 3, 4, and 5. Can you say thank you, Dr. Shino? Thank you very much, sir. Right. And I want to do something as you are taking your seat. Talk to your neighbor and please say, are you ready? I want you to look straight to the face of your neighbor and say, your world is waiting for you. Your world is waiting for you. And meanwhile, follow me. Meanwhile, you can be the next Dr. Shino. You can be the next Dr. Shino. Tell that person again, your world is waiting for you. Thank you very much, sir. We are very grateful for that session. That was very inspiring. I want us to do something. You know, when I heard Dr. Shino last year speak, I'm not an expert, but I quickly went on Nexus to go and see who this person really is. And when I went through some of his tweets, I was like, let me say it in pidgin, permit me, although I'm not that good with pidgin. I was like, this man getting loud. And you remember the theme of our event, which is what? I want you to scream it louder, please. And that's exactly what he's doing. You can see he has embodied it. And I think we need to celebrate the EU national team for giving us the best choice for a speaker. Alright. We'll go to our next session, and it's such also an honor to also welcome this person to the stage. Right? I don't know where to start because he's my teacher actually. Right? I remember when I was in Shrin's headquarters earlier this year, and we had one beautiful young woman who was with us, teaching us about, I think I spent about 5 to 6 days at Shrin's national headquarters. She was my teacher, she's my teacher, right? Because she's still my teacher. And what am I speaking about? I'm speaking about Ruth Oladele, and I'm here reading it about. Alright, so Ruth Oladele is a physiotherapist and public health researcher with a strong passion for integral healthcare access. She currently serves as the Administrative and Development Officer at the Slum and Riot Initiative, SHRIM, a youth-led organization committed to making healthcare services and information accessible to all, regardless of ethnicity, geography, or socio-economic status. Ruth also serves as the provost of the SHRIM Research Academy, where she coordinates and mentors a dynamic network of over 75 young researchers annually, aged 18 to 35, across more than 8 African countries. I think she deserves a round of applause for that. Under her leadership, the Academy facilitates our impact research, capacity building sessions, fosters cross-border collaboration, and supports the development and implementation of meaningful studies. She's also a peer reviewer for academic journals and recently served as the top coordinator for Frontiers in the Reproductive Health Journal. She's also a proud One Young World ambassador committed to advancing global health equity through leadership, advocacy, and research. With a standing ovation, can we please make welcome Ruth Oladele to EU Lecture 2025. Can we please make that about that?
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. Okay, right. While I wait for my slides to come up, I've been asked to talk about research writing, right? More like an introduction to research. Now, I remember that to give out a brief background while my slide comes up. And then with that background, it also helps to understand what I do when it comes to research. Now, I remember that when I was in university as a graduate, well, I would not say maybe research was not a thing, I don't want to say so, but it was more like a mystery, right? Where it appeared like it was only certain people who only knew it and then who could get it. So it was a mystery. And then I remember that I have a very close friend who was still passionate about research. He was very much interested then in research. And then this my friend who check out our lecturers in the department citation, and then the local college of medicine this Ibadan. Well, the college of medicine this Ibadan has a lot of potentials and people doing great stuff. So it would be like, oh, this person has 75 research articles. Okay, this one has 120, and then that way. And then he was reaching out to mentors, people to mentor him because he wanted to understand research. And I think like that, he actually started writing two papers. It was quite demanding, yeah, because of course with the stress of clinical school and the likes, it was quite demanding. But of course that actually was one of my inspiring moments. Then I remember that when I wrote we had usually have undergraduate research projects being done in the department. It's my second school. You have an undergraduate research project being done in the department, and so yeah, I chose my topic. I had a very good supervisor, which I'm quite grateful for, and we did projects like saying what we do projects now, and then now we're by. And then I remember that she called me and I was like, oh, you know you have an IS score in the research department. I didn't think much of it until during the convocation ceremony, right? People won an award for the best independent undergraduate researcher in the department. And I think that just made me realize how sometimes things that seemingly look mysterious aren't that mysterious in the sense of it. They just actually just require that somebody teaches you, right? Or the fact that you're able to learn it, you get out. And so research is not as hard as we think or as people think, is it? So I always like to make this illustration. So I use this illustration a lot when I have to teach people about research. And I'll say, okay, see writing the research paper as you've been told to, okay, good. I want to believe that quite a number of us, okay, when we were in secondary school or probably university, okay, so wait, how many of you are L&D? Yeah. Do you have an L&D member? Oh, fine. Interesting. Okay. You participated in any form of oratory before debates, your hands. Okay, that's kind of fun, yeah. And then the thing with oratory and debates is that you just want to make your audience believe that whatever you're saying is right, even if it's wrong. Am I right? Yeah. Exactly. That's if it's right. And then you go and have facts, evidence, punchlines. If you've ever attended Joe or you've participated in an event like Joe, you know what Joe is like. At the end of the day, you're like, at times that in the audience, you're wondering, you're like, okay, there's really nothing there different from what we are saying, actually. But there's something different. And that's the way research also is like a good research manuscript. Is that basically you want to convince your audience, right, that okay, what I found out is actually at least based on evidence, because of course it's scientific, and then because it's scientific, I mean we have to do with facts, figures, numbers, or based on this. This is my proposition, or this is what I have found out, and that's basically what a research paper or a research manuscript should look like. I have a number of slides, but then I'll try to be as quick as possible, seeing that I have limited time. Next slide. Okay, so I'll just take an original research paper as the basis for this, the different kinds of research manuscript. And so usually the research manuscript will follow the introduction, methods, results, formats. And also, I also make it such a way that I'll just leave what's called now. Maybe more like common mistakes, or more like things to watch out for when writing. So my next slide. So oftentimes when we talk about the introduction section of a research paper, the introduction section. Now, because most people here claim that they have done an oratory contest before or participated in debates before, I think it's going to be quite easy to use the example to follow. Right. Now, in an introduction, in an oratory contest, debate, essay, whatever, you don't want to spend too much time making definitions. Am I right? You want to have a very compelling sentence, right? Because that's the first thing that will make your audience do like a, makes sense. Yeah, and then judges are wow, right? That's the same way to also, that's the same way to also research, right? And so this is a very good example from, I can't remember what it's this, but then if you look at the first two sentences, you find that it gives figures, definite problems. Or in sub-Saharan Africa, we have 95% of malaria cases, children under 5 years. If you go down, you probably will not see the same introduction. You won't say things like defining immunization, what's coverage, what's around the world, get those kinds of things right. So the way that definition is basically just have 3 points or 3 outline. What is known, what's not yet known, what do I want my audience to know, basically. And then you want to support it with facts because you want to have something compelling, or why should I read your manuscript? I also tell people that when it comes to reading, people reading stuff is also quite boring. I feel like I may be wrong, but I think that people might get, in quotes, more wow when they listen to you speak than when they read, right? But you think it's boring. And that's the reason why people are always advised, or when you write CVs, when you write essays, don't work with details, make it as interesting as possible, because I've had to review stuff. 1 minute, 2 minutes, you move on to the next one that way. Why? Because you want to participate in your audience as much as possible. And that's the same way to also with writing research papers. So you want to have that very catchy introduction, which also defines the research problem. Now, there are so many problems in the world, a whole lot of problems. And that's the same way also with research too. There are a lot of problems. And the thing is that per time, per study, there is one problem you want to solve. In fact, if you're solving too many problems at once, I think that's the focus, actually. Right. Yeah, that's the focus, basically. And then because when you now lack focus, it also makes what you're doing complicated. So per time you have, okay, this is the problem I want to solve. Or say for example, now this is looking at measuring coverage in Southern Togo, applications for potential for perennial malaria chemical prevention. So per time there is a research question, there's a focus, and that's the first question you actually should answer. What exactly do I want to solve? What exactly do I want to provide an answer to? Once that's settled, you now want to go and say, okay, has this been done before? I remember what my professor said, the reason it's called a research is because, just put V and then put an IV search. Someone has done it, you're researching what that's been done. So you're doing it over and over and over again. And so it means that there are people who have done something similar. In fact, in some cases, something as exactly as you want to do. And that's sometimes also when it comes to research, especially for people who bother a lot about, oh, I want to get published, I want my papers to be published. Timing is also very critical in research publications too. Because you think you have the best idea out there, and then you're taking time or your research. And before you know it, you're just checking through a journal one day, and then you're seeing, the same thing that you think is your best idea. Someone else asks you, and you're like, okay, let me check the year it was published, and you're asking 23. Oh, okay. So that's why research also has a lot of timing too. Sometimes paper might not get published. Not because it's not good, but because it's also not coming in quotes at the right time, or it's not eating something or the air at that point in time. So you also notice that in choosing research questions or in defining your research questions too, you also, and that's where literature review is very, very important. You want to be sure as much as possible that whatever you're doing is the right question, quote, or when it comes to timing, is very important. Okay, next slide. Okay, let's keep moving to where you have to review. Where do I start? Just this slide. Next slide. I think I'll come back here. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, yes. Because I want to. Next, so we have the tutorial review. Okay, all right. Thank you. So like I was saying that, so a critical part of research is that you want to be sure that, what I'm doing, what has been done so far. Because that will also help you to write a very good introduction section. If in your introduction section, I cannot see a reason why this study should have been done, then there's probably no need for even reading through the study. And oftentimes people always have, when I say people, maybe some people or some young researchers usually have challenge with, okay, I don't know how to search for papers, I don't think I found papers that are relevant. Well, in most instances, it's not the fact that there are no papers or that there are no relevant papers in most instances. It could just be a thing of you're not searching well, right? I'm sure that most of us have this experience when we're younger. Your mom will ask you and say, go and bring, say, for example now, okay, we say, go and bring my card. It's in the room. And then you go to the room, she says it's on the bed. You check the bed, and then you come back and you're like, Mom, I don't see your card. And say, I said it's in the room, on the bed. Say no. And then your mom goes to the room. The same bed that showed you that the card is on, right? Brings out the card, gives it to you and says, this is not the card of the bed. I mean, what have I experienced before? I mean, I think it's quite, yes. Why? Probably because when you put the card on the bed, maybe one clothes has covered the door, or maybe something has just masked it, and then you cannot see. And then it now makes your mom feels like a magician, and then you, as a liar, or you as someone who is not patient enough. And that's the same way to also most times when it comes to searching for manuscripts or for articles, rather. It's not as if in most cases, fine, maybe in some cases, some things are not yet done, maybe. But it's not as if in most cases, those articles are not there. It's just that you're using the wrong search strategy, or you are not searching the right place. Right. And so while I don't have so many databases here because of time, I think that's an assignment. There are as many databases as possible. Why am I choosing PubMed as an example? Because PubMed is really quite wide, right? But there are other ones, and then it's also good to be familiar with the ones that even in the Nigerian context. So just like the way I gave the example of your mom's card on the bed. Sometimes you're not looking for data about Nigeria or something about village Nigeria, and you're taking journals or data sets that are international. You most likely not find it there. Do you understand now? When you go, let me check like Nigerian journals or other things in Nigeria, you most likely find the answer in there. So it's not really about the fact that the answer is available. It's why because this first strategy is wrong, or you're not looking for where you ought to be looking for it. So PubMed, because PubMed is really quite versatile and has a lot of database articles. Also, why PubMed too? So I always like to make an illustration. I'm sure some people here might have heard the illustration, and I'm going to use it again. Pardon me if my illustration offends you. Now, the different databases, PubMed, several databases, search engines. PubMed, Google Scholar, which other ones do we have? Scopus, a whole lot of them, right? Google itself also is a search engine, and then there are various search engines. Now my illustration, like I said, pardon me, in case it offends you. Now in Nigeria we have so many universities, am I right? Yes or no? Yes. Exactly. And then someone writes down, maybe scores a 180 in JAM, and then the person wants to go to the University of Ibadan, scores 180. So yeah, this is your 180. You know it that you are. Am I right? I think so. No, I am right. Yes. The next day they say no, I must go to the University of Ibadan, like fire by force, because UI is first and best. It's okay. Write down the next year, scores 175. Say alpha. So you I want to go to, I'm not going anywhere. The third year, write down, maybe scores a 172, and then start thinking, it's like at this rate, probably will have to try Kwara State University or somewhere. But what I say, whatever you score, there's a university somewhere that will accept this person in Nigeria. Yes or no? Yes. Yes or no? Yes. Or would you accept the person?
No.
So that's the same way to also with different search databases we have. Some articles we get anyway, but some will not get certain places. Do you understand now? And so that also helps you when you're searching for articles too, also, right? So I search PubMed, I don't think I'm getting it, okay, let me go search other ones. It also helps you to also, when it also comes to trusting the integrity of what you found. From my illustration, like I said, I already made apologies in advance to whoever, I hope you're not offended to also. The same way people also probably think they trust the codes to also going by that illustration too, right? A graduate of a particular school, or wherever it's done in a particular university, Why? Because I just think that they have certain measures, certain criteria. Do you understand now? It doesn't mean that there is no smart person in the other university. Do you get it now? So that's the same way to also with PubMed, and that's why PubMed could be a very good one, especially if you don't have the experts to be able to go and say, okay, this research is not well, I'm not sure I can trust this a whole lot. Do you understand? But if you want to think that, oh, I'm not getting what I get here, and then because I think I want to go in more context, Nigerian, some local stuff, you could try other databases. You definitely get there. Do you understand now? So there are ways to search. Okay, step 2. Yes, I think for example now, okay, let's assume I'm writing a study. I don't know anything about HIV prevention and adolescent. So I type in the search keywords. It brings out a lot of results, that's 26,871. And then you see here, you have a year category in there, right? So you can actually say, okay, I only want publications in 1 year, 5 year, that way. You can also use keywords and Boolean operators. The reason for ensuring that you have good search terms is simply because so that you can find what you're looking for on time. You don't want to spend, because sometimes people spend hours looking for manuscripts. I'm sorry, looking for articles, and they don't get it. Why? They are also searching wrongly. So next, I think, I'll just keep on. All right, next. Next. So yes, when you get that, so, okay, no, the previous slide. And then you see an article that you think fits. Previous step 4. Step 4. You can check the abstract. What's an abstract? An abstract is basically the summary. In fact, when the title, you can decide, oh, is this relevant to what I want to do, or this is not relevant. If you're not sure, read the abstract. What exactly was done in this study? And then you're able to decide, okay, I think I want to work with this paper or not. If it does not fit what you're looking for, you go back again to your search terms and then move on that way. In closing, One good way to write a manuscript, and this is not just limited to manuscript writing. I like to say that if you're a good writer, that's why it's the show of people who are done debates or which contest. You can also apply that same writing skills even to other things. Now, when you want to write, the best thing is have an outline. Now, people say have an outline. Outline does not necessarily mean in business terms, introduction, methods, results, conclusion. No. I'll give you an outline. Just like an example of my slide. But let me just make an example. Now, let's assume I want to write a manuscript on knowledge of HIV self-testing among young people with disabilities in Nigeria. Let's assume that I want to write that. Now, how would I start? Okay, have knowledge of young people of HIV self-testing, right? Among young people with disabilities in Nigeria. Key familiarity, HIV self-testing, young people with disabilities. Now, in writing my outline, I'll write my introduction and say, okay, paragraph 1. When was HIV self-testing recommended, or whatever led to use of HIV self-testing? Maybe that first paragraph, just maybe a few. What's been the uptake so far globally? What's been the uptake in Africa? What's been the uptake in Nigeria? Or another would be what's been the uptake among young people? Then when that comes to young people with disabilities, how have they accessed care so far? So the way I do it is that I just keep writing that way. In fact, not necessarily reading through articles. And this also helps to also avoid plagiarism. Because what most people do sometimes is that they go look at articles, see, they do copy, paste, edit, cuts, and then they cut it different ways. So by the time they are reading through, it's not easy to say, oh, okay, this is like, if the thought pattern is not flowing too well. Why? Because of the way they read things, they cut like 15 articles, and they just copy, paste, edit, erase, cancel, right? When I'm going back to the way I gave an example, I've already written my first paragraph that way. Alright, good. The second paragraph could be like more hypothetical and say, okay, well, at least in the last 40 years, HIV is over 40 years now. Young people, knowledge have been examined over time. This is what we have over time. Right? We have HIV testing to also been examined over time. And then this has been the figures so far. You can even put XXX, YYY. Later when you go and read the article, you fill it up. But you're already doing what? You're already forming the skeleton. Yes, that's what I was looking for. The skeleton of the research paper, even without having yet read through the article. And why this is also possible is also because, because you're writing something technically that is within your field. You have some ideas, even if the idea is easy, right? So you can form a skeleton of that paper already, do you understand? And then the same way to say, okay, why do I think it's important? Okay, it's possible that when people do HIV awareness campaigns, they don't go to disability centers, probably because the information available is not easily adapted to them, right? It's not available in Braille, you can put question mark, query. What does it mean? It means that when I'm looking through research articles, I want to check, are there research articles that people have done campaigns on HIV self-testing using Braille, do you understand? Or using adaptable formats for young people with disabilities. So that way, it makes the writing engaging, and then you're not just doing it as something, what I call it now, I don't use the word robotic. But you're doing it as, okay, it's not becoming a chore. Yes, that's the word to use. It's not becoming a chore. Also, another advice is also that when you also have to write papers like that, even not just limited to research articles, you can give yourself time to think through. And what I was thinking through means, thinking through could also even be as simple as engaging the conversation with somebody over it. It might not be tailored conversation, right? But even with a person, you may actually begin to have ideas and then just write it down and say, okay, next time I go to my article, I am going to add this point to it. So rather than seeing it as a chore, you can also see it as something that's quite engaging and then quite interesting to do. So let's go down to the last slide. Okay, alright, so I have a classwork here. Interesting, I love my classwork, basically. Yeah, another way to also be a good writer is to read and write. Why? Because you definitely not get to write beyond what you read or what you know. So that's why I also gave my example, places where you can get good papers, meditation I use. So if you read good papers, you also widen how well you write. Because in the long run, you'll be writing based on what your mind has been exposed to. And so you can give yourself an assignment or say, okay, every day I'll read at least 2 research articles. Not because I want to write, right? But because I only just want to read and then observe the style of writing. You get it now? So there's a difference between reading because I have to write my project and I'm not exactly reading, everything copy paste, I just look for one word that fits. And thanks to AI these days, it's even easier that way. Just put prompts and then you get it right. But so that you can become a good writer in the long run, you have to ensure that you read well. Right? And then you can have that task of, okay, every day I'll read at least 2 papers or 1 paper. And when I read it, I'll critique, or review it. You get it now. That way it also helps to make the task of writing this. But then you're writing your next research manuscript. You can use lessons learned that way to improve it. Thank you very much. It's a round of applause for her. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that refreshing perspective on research. You would agree with me that research can be very intimidating, or why do you want that think so? You think research can be intimidating, can I say it? I thought you want to like, so that I would see. That was really well. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So if you are a researcher or you're someone looking into starting, and maybe you're scared or you don't know how to start, I'm sure this session has been helpful. So please once again, a round of applause for her. So very quickly, let's do something. So let me just explain. You're sitting on the edge here, right? So this person sitting on the edge will whisper something to the next person, person sitting beside him. And the thing you're going to whisper, any word, just one word, it has to do with health, right? Just choose any word. Now you have to whisper it to your partner will whisper it to the next, till you get to that last edge. And you must say the same thing as the first person. If it's wrong, you catch. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't want to hear someone will say, I love Jesus now. Another person will say, I love man. Is that fine? I'll catch you people now. Okay. Okay, let me just approach this. Alright, just whisper something. It has to be very fast though. Yeah, slow. Should we give them another chance? Yes, I'm not taking that. Should we give them another chance? Oh, okay. So we'll come back to you. So from that edge, can you please pass on here? Yes, do we help though? We don't want to hear woman, I love woman. So alright, you find it twice. Okay, hi, what's your name? Was that what you whispered? Neurosurgeon. Ha! Okay. What did you tell her?
with the new room. You tried. You tried. We'll take it like that. Okay, what about you guys? Whisper. Alright. Why are you laughing? Are we safe? Okay. I'm even scared to ask you. What is she? Prevention. It's not like preventing. I don't understand. Was that what you whispered? Prevention. You said prevent. But you added sure. How nice. You guys are just adding yours. Prevention. It's good. It's one of those things. Okay. You guys, very short. Don't disappoint me. Don't go hard short. Big short. Alright. Let's just start from this side. Pass me very fast. Yes, chicken. I'm not asking you again. What? Was that what you whispered? Oh, you think you're smart. You whispered else. That is easy. You cannot say else short. That was why you said else. You will not agree. I'm coming. Alright, so from you, please can you whisper to that? It has to be very fast though. You people, you want to you cannot say it. No problem. Thank you. Alright. Thank you so much. So we are moving to the next session. Ladies and gentlemen, some people do research, some people lead laboratories, and some people are public health advocates. But our next speaker is someone that does all three of them and does them excellently. It's a round of Yes, he is a virologist, researcher, laboratory leader, and passionate public health advocate. Dr. Adewale Opayele. Dr. Adewale Opayele is a senior lecturer in the Department of Virology at the University of Ibadan. He also leads key WHO accredited laboratories that are central to Nigeria's health system. His work focuses on viruses of public health concern, and during the COVID-19 pandemic, he played a pivotal role in both response and advocacy, leading testing, outbreak preparedness, and health education campaigns. Please a round of applause for you. What were you doing during COVID-19 outbreak? A round of applause for you. Thank you so much. Beyond the lab, he's a mentor, a teacher, a strong advocate for health equity, guiding young researchers in supporting initiatives like the New Society. Through his scholarship, laboratory leadership, and public health engagement, Dr. Opayele's impact bridges the laboratory, the classroom, and the community. His contributions to public health in Nigeria and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation, please let's make welcome Dr. Adewale Opayele. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me see. Thank you very much for that introduction. And I'm really excited to be here this morning. I'm usually excited when I see young people taking bold initiatives, heading in the right direction, and making changes like you are. So I'm really proud to be associated with you, and I will continue to support this initiative going further. Thank you. So this morning I've been invited to speak to you on the making of future health leaders. And I should emphasize on the skills, values, and tools for impact. And like I earlier said, this kind of initiative, there is no better time to have it than now. Looking at the pivotal role that health plays in humanity, in our lifetime, and even in the time past. You and I know that if health is compromised at whatever level, then there is no foundation to build on. You need health to dream, to think, to make any move. Once you are sick, or once your health system is compromised, then there is really little or nothing you can do. You are close to death. So any initiative geared towards health, it's genuine, it's necessary, and I'm happy that we're already thinking in that direction. Even in war, when everything collapses, there will still be a need for health, because the injured has to be attended to. In time of, even when people are poor, they will make effort. Oh, go for me. Oh, this initiative or that. So health is something that is just pivotal to our existence as humans, and we cannot push it to the background. So this field, looking at its importance, we continually need leaders. We need young people who are interested in pushing it further. We need people who are going to shape the future. We need people who will restore hope. Now is the time that we are suffering from brain drain in the country, but people have to get up to feel the critical vacuum that is being left. And I'm happy to be a part of you who are thinking in this direction this morning. Before I go into the tools, I would also want us, I would try to open our eyes to the reality of our environment, Nigeria, which we find ourselves. I want to tell us that the best place to make key health initiatives is still countries like Nigeria or other developing world. Why? It is in Africa, it is in a country like ours that we have conditions that make communicable diseases or non-communicable diseases, they abound around us. And we also have the population. We have the population, so something has to be done, and we have to be a part of it. There is high disease burden in our environment. Some of these diseases, you get surprised that abroad, even to get samples to do research on some diseases that we see regularly is not easy. But in Africa, you would have cases, you would have different kind of ailments, and we are close to those few resources, and we should just tap into them and tell our own story. Let it get out there. And look again, let me tell you another reality. Do you know that we used to say that our weather is good, this and that. Do you know it comes with its own challenges? Have you ever thought of some challenges that might be associated with our weather? Do you know there are some health challenges that are associated with our weather? Have you ever thought around it? Because we enjoy this almost warm weather, do you know that disease vectors, mosquitoes, or other vectors, even rodents, very loud voice, but can you hear back? So maybe I should just continue with my voice. So I was trying to tell you about So, I was trying to tell you about the peculiarity of our environment and the fact that we are blessed with good weather also comes with its own challenge. And one of those challenges, the same weather that is good that you find comfortable, some disease vectors also find it comfortable. And that's why you have this proportionately high incidence of vector-borne diseases in Africa, in Nigeria, countries around the equator. But when you go further to other climes, you would have winter. During winter, when everything is chilled, disease vectors cannot thrive. I think you understand that. So we seem to be perpetually exposed to all these pathogens. So what I'm just trying to make you see is that being located in an environment like this comes with its own challenges. And when you have challenges, you also have opportunities. And it's good if you start thinking of all these challenges in light of the opportunities and how you can key into it. I'm just trying to stimulate our minds to think around us, look at our local problems, and see how we can be key players in solving it. And unfortunately, despite the fact that we're in an environment where the disease burden is high, I will tell you that the quantity of research outputs, the quantity of intervention from this part of the world is actually less compared to those developed worlds. And all these vacuums I'm telling you about, they are actually opportunities, and they are places you and I can key in, because there are just many questions begging for answers, many problems seeking solution, and the world is ready to support you if you think in that direction and you start providing solutions. So, leadership, making future health leaders. Leadership is not about titles. It's not about titles. You have to get that at the back of your mind. Leadership is about influence, your ability to mobilize knowledge, your ability to mobilize people, to mobilize resources, to solve problems, to solve real problems. And that's why I went around some challenges we have around us. High burden of communicable diseases, high burden of non-communicable diseases because of lifestyle changes. Even non-communicable ones are here with us, and they are all begging for answers, for solutions. So, now, let me talk about the skills that are needed to make future health leaders. Skill is an ability that is acquired by training. For you to acquire a skill, you need to be trained. You need to access some resources to give you information and direction on that field. So the first skill that you will need if you want to be a great future leader is that you need communication skills, good communication skills. The first speaker made my talk easier. He has given us opportunities of where you could access the world. This mobile phone is not a tool for entertainment alone. It's not a tool for following sports. It's not a tool for chatting alone. It actually gives you the window to the world. So when you have this window to the world, you have to engage, and it's hinged on the quality of your communication skills. And that's why in the university, you have some courses they call general studies. I don't know if when I was an undergraduate, it was GS or 101. I think that's still the nomenclature. It's still 101 actually. Maybe now CMAS and all the adjustments. And that's why it's compulsory for everybody. English, language. You have to be able to communicate. Communicate complex ideas in simple forms. Communicate, you don't have to use all those technical scientific jargons. You have to look at your audience and target whatever you want to say to them and communicate it in a way that will make sense to them. He talked about social media engagement. On social media, if he had not communicated clearly what he was seeing in terms of drug abuse and potential dangers, the reactions he got would not have happened. So whatever problem you have identified, whatever you want to be known for, you must also acquire, you must also refine, you must also improve yourself when it comes to communicating. The way you write, the way you speak, the way you process thoughts and ideas, the way you can empathize, like put yourself in the shoes of those that you want to speak to, what you want to get from them, put yourself in their shoes and see how you can express yourself so you can get the desired reaction from them. So that's one of the skills you need to be thinking about. I'm happy we're having this discourse now. When you are still in school, you are still young, you still have some time to experiment. Start thinking around refining your communication skills. Start thinking around how to express complex thoughts in simple ways. Think around how to use the right words to make people understand the problem you want to communicate, and how to get them interested, stimulated enough to be able to see it as something they should invest on, something they should join you on, something they should team up with you on. So we have to start with that skill, communication and advocacy skills. Let's note that. Then the second one is collaboration and teamwork. Solving health issues or whatever problem it is, we always have many sides to it, and you need many specialists, many people with different perspectives. That's when you get the best out of any solution you want to provide. If you've identified a niche you want to play in, think of those people you need. Think of those professionals you need to team up with, to collaborate with, and know how to engage them. Know how to engage in a way that the deal is fair. They all see why they should key into it, and they should all feel recognized for the role they will be playing. So you need to team up with like minds across discipline. You need to identify the like minds that you need for whatever leadership or health initiative you have on mind that you want to push. You have to think around those that share the same values with you. You have to team up with, depending, scientists, policymakers, and whoever at whatever level you'll be needing. So first, communication, refine your communication skills. Start thinking around how to team up, how to collaborate, how to initiate collaborations that are meaningful. Then the third is critical thinking and problem solving skill. You need to develop it. And that's why I made all these preambles about what we sit on in Africa, what we sit on in Nigeria. They all look like problems. But I tell you that as leaders, you must see problems. You must see challenges from another lens. And that lens is the lens of opportunity. When there is a problem, the world needs solution to it. And anybody that could provide solution to a problem will be sorted after. So you have to start thinking. And you know when you have this problem, let me be factual with you, problem will require thinking. Because you are not just going to problem and start pampering the problem. You want to solve it. That's why you become a force to reckon with. Problem solving skills is something you have to develop. So you have to start thinking right from now and start identifying and deciding which of these many problems in my environment do I want to solve. As a future health leader, I'm thinking and I'm envisioning myself as what do I want to be known for? What do I want to tackle? And you can take your time and get yourself towards that. And with consistency, with persistence, you are going to make your own mark. It's not going to happen overnight. And you must, like I said, have this critical thinking and problem solving skill. Then the fourth skill you should have is research and evidence-based thinking. If you want to be a great leader, you can't afford to make decisions based on emotion. Your decisions must be based on evidence. I do not know in the society, if you've noticed maybe a junction usually chaotic, and then the government decides to make maybe an overhead bridge. Have you noticed such before? But you know that it's not every time that overhead bridge solves that chaos. Have you ever thought of it before? I have one on mind, but I don't want to talk about it very public if I offend some people. I have seen a problem in chaotic junction like this. We know there is a need for overhead bridge, but when the bridge was done, the problem remained. Do you know why? Do you know why? The decision was not backed with evidence, facts and figures. They didn't do their due diligence well. Which direction really is the flow of traffic more? That this overhead bridge will carry more of the problem of the traffic. So you have the overhead bridge lying with little vehicles flowing, whereas the congested points still remain congested. I think you understand that. So I don't need this general example for you. You need to know how to research, how to sort right information, and identify the real problems. Ask the right questions. It's when you ask the right questions that you can generate the right answer. Know how to collect data. Know how to analyze trends. Over the time, this is what has been happening. Oh, in the future, it's likely going to happen this way. Oh, I can key in and join this progress in this way. So, research and evidence-based thinking is the fourth skill, and the fourth is the technological competence. As future leaders, you know how to engage technology to your advantage. You need to start with the social media aspect. We are talking about digital social media influencing. If you are going back to 30 years ago, we won't be having that talk. Because this phone was still in the mind of people. But by the time it got invented completely, by the time more capabilities got added, it could browse. You know, when I was in school, I can remember then, we used to go to SB overnight. You have money like this, you go and stay there overnight to access the internet. Overnight, you'll be very happy. You will go and download all the relevancies because you don't know when you have the access again. But everybody has a phone. So this tool is here, and we've seen how it has changed our life. And now it's a part of our life. If they take your phone away from you, would you be comfortable? So it's already part of our life. So humanity is not going to drop this progress. So you have no option but to just engage, to join the movement and maximize it to your advantage. And now with the advent of AI, is the future. You can't negotiate it. You have to know how to leverage, how to harness it to achieve your aim, to source information and use it to achieve your aim. So digital and technology competence is another skill that you should have as a future leader. I will stop at those 5 points in terms of skills. Now let's talk about values. Values, these are principles, these are standards, these are beliefs that are considered worthwhile or desirable by a person, by a social group, or a system. Those are their values. So as an individual, if you want to be an impactful leader in the future, especially in the health field, skill alone will not make you. You also need to complement it with values. And it is those values that will shape how your skills will be used. So the first of the values you need to develop is integrity and accountability. Integrity and accountability. When I say integrity, you have to realize that trust is the currency of relationship. If you make the people who collaborate with you or who believe in you feel cheated at the end of the day, or they felt used, or they felt that you didn't live up to what you promised, you've broken the bridge to the future with them. So you have to say what you will do and do it. There are examples when people write fantastic ideas. Oh, I've identified this problem, and there's this funder somewhere. They put money down. Oh, you write this proposal, I'm going to do this. They give you $1 million. Oh yeah, execute. Then you see the money. The first thing you start thinking of, I must buy a Range Rover. I must build a house. The thing is that if you execute, legitimately, you will have what belongs to you. The problem begins when greed comes in. And I've seen it a lot. Loss of value, loss of accountability. It's part of what made us, it's part of what made us where we are today. It's part of why our institutions are not progressing. Loss of accountability and integrity. So as young people, you need to start thinking and seeing things in a different light. I've also heard stories, even among students, your SUG. I learned that sometimes there are controversies around resources, knowledge of spent. Let us not be those kind of people that will end up having value and integrity issues. It will make us go far. So one of the values you should have is integrity and accountability. Second is compassion and service. You must make sure you have that compassion for the vulnerable. You don't have to do everything because of what is in it for you. Be driven by a genuine passion to make a difference, to offer help, to give service, especially to the vulnerable that may not be able to pay you back in the immediate because people are watching. And it will open more doors for you if you're able to execute that. Then, because of my time, let me just talk about vision and commitment. You have to have a clear purpose. It might be difficult to have a clear purpose. It might take time, which is okay. Take your time. Know where your strength is. Know what you want to be known for. Know what you want to push. Know what you want to drive. If it takes time for you to arrive at that direction, it's fine. But once you've identified one that you've clearly analyzed and you know is promising, give your best to it, pursue it tenaciously, and be consistent. Because even when you have a good goal, and you don't stay committed to it over time, you would still not make it so far. But anything that you've identified, and you've done your research well, and you know it's promising, just continue. It might take years, but eventually, be sure that every little effort you make is counting. Now, talking about tools for impact. I actually had two approaches to this topic, which was to start thinking of tools, but I found out that I was lost. There are just too many because our minds think differently. The problems we are thinking of engaging also vary, and the tools will vary. So I've decided to hinge it on broad topics that we can apply based on our pursuits. The first tool you need is that you need knowledge and consistent learning. You have to stay curious. You have to be able to observe and ask questions. You have to read widely. That is where ideas come. That is where your vision will be shaped. The amount of content you consume, the quality of, he mentioned it too, the people you follow will influence how you think. So the quality of people you engage, the quality of thoughts you imbibe is going to affect your vision. So knowledge and continuous learning is one of the tools you need if you want to be a great leader in the health field. Mentorship and networking. You need to look for people who inspire you. Look for people who are doing what you want to do and try to reach out to them. You have to join groups that are like-minded. You have to connect, especially I do more. I'm beginning to appreciate LinkedIn more. LinkedIn is very powerful. Try to leverage those tools. Now I've mentioned a specific one. If you've identified a niche, use appropriate tools to engage those in that space. LinkedIn is powerful. Think around it. Start knowing your way around it. Start having that presence. Start building connection. It will recommend other connections that are similar to who you are looking for to you. Reach out to them. He said it, that when you reach out, the worst that will happen is no response. They won't flog you. But one or two that accept your request and you engage with, we open more doors to others. LinkedIn will also suggest like-minded organizations that will propel you. You join them, you engage, you connect, you read about what they are churning out. That will start giving you ideas. It will refine your thoughts and improve you, even in shaping your vision. In knowing resources you can leverage on. I can tell you that there are fundings by bodies. They are just looking for people with the track record to execute. Those of us in academics, it's not all grants that we get that we apply for. Some of those monies come and they just look at profile of people. Okay, this person has this track record. He can deliver. It's not controversial. He has the team. And they just, said it like God reached out to from people at the national level. At the international level, these opportunities are there, but you need to be visible. You need to be consistent and be known for something that is meaningful. So, mentorship and networking is very, very important. Start thinking about it. Then, research and innovation opportunities. Let us start identifying areas where we can volunteer. If that's our only window to having access to some resources we need or to some people we need. In places where you have volunteered before, you are more likely going to be welcomed when you need maybe a reference letter, maybe when you need people. I'm talking about reaching people on LinkedIn. It can be it's your virtual environment. When you're physical, if you can volunteer in the right environment, you learn, you gain exposure, and you get help. Because of time, I would just like to cut it short. Then advocacy platforms, join them through social media. I'm happy we had that talk. I won't talk about social media again. Health advocacy campaigns, bodies like this, very, very brilliant, very, very beautiful. Let's maximize the exposure that this is giving us and let us use it to improve our opportunities. So I'm going to leave you with this. Your skills will give you competence. Your values will give you credibility. Based on your values, what they know you for. And your tools will give you capacity. So you really need to develop this aspect, your skill, your values, and your tools. And once you get all these in the right direction, once you're asking the right question, it's only a matter of time. You are going to make big impacts in whatever you have chosen to pursue. Thank you very much.
Can we please rise up? I want us to specially thank Dr. Okaile in a special way. I know we are tired, but don't worry, food is on the way. Are you excited? So let's go. 1, 2, louder please. 3, 4, and 5. Thank you very much. You can please take your seat. I want to actually throw this out, right? Can someone just tell me 1 or 2 things they learned from last session? All right, any volunteer? All right. You're raising up your hand, right? Yes, yes. Yes, sir. Please, we'll be taking question and answer session. We have the question and answer session now, right? For our speaker, I've spoken from Dr. Shino to Dr. Okwaili to the root of our daily then. Yes.
For this session, I think that we should make ourselves see because there are lots of opportunities out there, and even if we are not applying, they are going to notice us. Also considering what Dr. Shino and Dr. said. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, one person is raising up and hand over there. All right, okay, now we have 2. All right, can you please follow the mic to her? Please, your name and your school.
Yes, good afternoon. I am Dori with my name, and I am from Lado Capital University of Technology. Okay, so what I learned from this session, there was anything that I picked, it would be that problems are opportunities. It's that change makers see problems through the lens, they see them as opportunities to provide solution. And also, one other thing that I picked was that communication skills are very essential as someone who seeks to make impact, who seeks to make change. Thank you.
Very much, all right, one last question. Please start preparing your questions, and we want to ask physically, please. You can just come to my right hand side, which is the left hand side of the hall. Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much for that session, sir. I am Adebola Lawani from Obafemi University. He said something about capacity, credibility, and competence. So he said your skills will give you competence, your tool will give you capacity, and your values will give you credibility. Thank you.
I think we have all learned 1 or 2 things, in fact, major things from Dr. Okwaili this session. I'll be celebrating once again. All right. Like I announced earlier, I will be taking questions and answers right, for our speakers. So if you want to pen it down, my co-host Pfizer will be moving around now to get your questions, and if you want to ask physically in person, you can please come to the right hand, my right hand side, which happens to be your left hand side. Thank you very much. So we'll do something shortly, and I want us to do you so much honor and reference in our heart. I want us to recognize the friends of staff members from Slum Riot Initiative that are here with us today. How do we celebrate them? Even before we stand up and their names. And I can say this again and again, that without Slum Riot Initiative, there will not have peace society. Right, so these are people behind the scenes that are working tirelessly with Dr. Isaac rather, to ensure that things are going quite well. As I mentioned their names, I want to please beg that they stand so that you can see their beautiful faces, and please let's honor them with a round of applause. Are we good to go? Alright, thank you very much. So I'll be starting with one of our speakers. We've actually seen her face already today, but I want to just introduce her better. So I'll be starting with Ruth Oladele, and she's the Admin and Development Officer, Slum and Riot Initiative. Can you stand up so you can see your good once again now? Can you please make that louder? Alright. Thank you very much. So I'm moving to the second person, that's Mr. Toluwayemi Hayoride. He's the Senior Programs Officer for E-Society and Slum and Riot Initiative. Can you stand up and let me So I'm sure many of us would have interacted in one way or the other with Mr. Tolu. It's like the engine that is making the society run. So without him, we won't be here to as well. Please come celebrate him once again. All right. So we also have Islamiyat Mukhtar. She's the Junior Programs Officer, Maternal and Reproductive Health for Slum and Riot Initiative. Where is Islamiyat? All right, can we celebrate her? Wow, this is the first time I'm seeing her physically, right? Such a pleasure seeing you today too. So we also have Mr. Ujo Jeremiah, Director of Media and Communications at SHRIM. Oh, thank you very much. I please make it loud. I understand you're tired, but please let's celebrate them. All right. We also have Peace Orenson. Sorry I'm not that name, right? Senior Media Officer and External Communications, SHRIM. Mr. Peace, Miss Peace, sorry, Orenson. Thank you very much. We are pleased to have you. And also Ifeoluwa Oketiji, Junior Research Officer at SHRIM. Alright, you are welcome, sir. Good to have you. Can we celebrate them all once again? Alright. Have you good to go with the questions? Alright. You can decide to direct your question to one of the speakers or any of them, depending on how you feel.
Alright, thank you very much. My name is Timlen Nicola. I'm at the University of University. And I have just two questions. My first question goes to Dr. Shina. So yeah, I am a content creator. For some time I had to post on content creation. And my question is based on the fact that I want to ask a question on how, being a social media person and also being a social media person myself, I want to ask him how he balances this content with the amount of cyberbullying online. Because I see some of the health influencers I like and the amount of cyberbullying they go through, they face sometimes. I follow Dr. Shina a lot, apropos doctor, a whole lot of them. And sometimes negativity is just a whole lot that I feel can I really handle this. So how do you balance all of that stuff? Then my second question goes to Mrs. Ruth about the research class. So for someone who has multiple interests, interested in multiple things at the same time, and is also interested in being a researcher, how do you balance or how do you decide which to follow? Because I read somewhere as being a junior researcher or someone starting out in research, it is always good to have a niche or somewhere you are known for, so people can from your research work know what exactly your interests are, right? So how do you exactly marry all of those things and pick down on a niche? Thank you very much.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. And the question on being popular and cyberbullying. So, I'm going to answer that, but let me just give a context of something. And, earlier on I said we should always form connections. So, coincidentally, when I was in medical school, do we have people from ABH here? I think I think 2016, final year, thereabout, I was on G Block, I think my record was G50 or something. Dr. Isaac also was in G Block. Is it G or E Block? But at least we're friends. Dr. Isaac was, I think, he was 2 years my senior. So when I got the email, or I got the email from you, then we've been friends for a while, but we lost touch a bit. So I just saw the email and all of that. So I just called him. Isaac, are you associated with it? Oh, yeah, definitely. If it's you, I'm going to be there. So what I just said is, as medical students, we were friends, and we were connected, and so I just wanted to put that. So I was like, okay, Isaac, I'll definitely try my best to do it. Okay, how do you handle cyberbullying? Now the thing is, to be honest, as I mentioned earlier, bullying, negativity, positivity, trolling is all part of the medium. If you are popular, everybody cannot like you. You have to understand that. And your motivation should not be the validation of people. You have a reason why you're doing what you are. And trust me, if you're in the media space, there's really nothing like negative publicity. For every time you get dragged, you get more popular. Now, it's going to be up to you to then be like an aluminium that what people say online will not get to you. Because trust me, if I should say because I get insulted, then medical students, you see, I feel like medical students are insulting me. Let me give you an example. I remember 2 years or 3 years ago, I made a content on something. Then one angel just came and maybe called me a fool or something. For me, I don't even take it serious because I know many of you that are insulting me online, where I stand, you can't stand beside me. So I will not waste my time arguing with you. So, well, normally you stand there, so Bowen, was it Bowen or Bangkok? They invited me to come and talk, Bowen University. So the president said, so not like, before they called me up, because I think maybe their vice chancellor or somebody was there too. So before they called me up, they said, we have an apology to make before you talk. He said, you people are calling me to talk. What do you want to apologize about? And I said, don't worry, when is your time to talk? Okay, I was on the podium. Then I said, sir, can you remember one time when this post went viral? Somebody said the girl was a 200 level medical student. So the person that was calling me a fool, insulting me, was a 200 level candidate. The whole moment, they're not apologizing. We're not like that. I said, see, I cannot even remember. You understand? Because if you're on the media stage, people will insult you, people will troll you. But what you need to do is, what I do is, in spite of all of that, there will be people that will still strike positive response, constructive criticism. Some people will be grateful. Just focus on those people. But you need to be, you're going to need to, let me say, lock up. You're going to need to be strong and don't allow what people say get to you. It's not easy because deep down we're all human beings. If you insult someone, you trash them, trash talk them, and all of that, it can get to you. But the way to do it is one. Why are you doing what you do? If that motivates you, so what any rando in Agege or Mushin says is not going to get to you because you are bigger than that. And trust me, a lot of times, you see, many of those people, if you meet them in real life, you can be like, so this is the thing that is insulting me. So if you look at it like that, you will focus on what you're doing, strive to be the best of you, and not allow the cyberbullying will be there. At least I follow ratings. I'm sure don't they insult you too? You chop insult on a steady basis now. But don't worry, when you become a doctor, you will chop more. You understand? so that's how to deal with it. And just focus on the positive one. Because at the end of the day, if you decide to focus on negative response, you will just be sad. But those people, their opinions don't even count. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so the question about balance, right?
I get your question right. Yeah, balance. Okay. Well, personally, I don't think there's anything called balance. Personally, I may be wrong. Right? I just think that sometimes you do some things, and then at another time, make for it. Right? So it's fine to have so many interests. I admire people who say, "Oh, I've been born to be a cancer researcher." And for the past, that's looking like, I admire them. But I also think that people like that are usually often in the minority, maybe. Do you get? And then because our interests are often shaped by exposure, people we meet, right? They change. Do you understand now? So today you are interested in, or you're passionate about cancer care, cancer research. And then the next thing, you're probably having a conversation with someone you meet somewhere, and the person is talking about blockchain technology, and like, yeah, what am I doing cancer care research? And like, okay, let's shoot, right? But it's just that every point in time, I believe that there will always be priorities, right? So for example, now you're a medical student. As a medical student, there are times when you have tests, you have exams. I don't expect that when you have tests, is when you want to go and look at a particular training, do you understand now? But another time, that time is freer, and then you can read to get more. So you can learn as many things as possible. I've learned graphic design for trying maybe not so well, Figma and all that, but the challenge I had was, why a challenge? But just at the time, it didn't come out fine, right? I also believe that sometimes also, there are different things that also make you make a choice. Sometimes you might find out that it's the content creation you are doing that brings more money to your table, and not medicine and surgery, right? And more research, do you understand? And then you go for content creation, you get. But one thing that, okay, yes, I like money, so right, so that also influences, and it's fine if you like money and then you are pro-passion, it's also fine, do you get? So one thing that happens, but the thing with having so many interests and having so many skills is the fact that when there are opportunities, you are able to adapt. Do you understand now? So you're doing content creation, you're a medical doctor, you're a researcher, you see an opportunity in content creation, you can apply, and then you can get it. And then it can be your catapult to the next level, as it's called. Do you understand? See another one. Now imagine if, because you felt like, oh, you're a medical student, you're not going to build that one. You need an opportunity to come that way, you won't get it. So the other question about niching down, which is also going to be similar. Consider the many interests you have. You want to write health papers, write sexual health papers, write it, at least for now. I think that niching comes as you grow older. I'm also a younger person myself, right? It comes as you grow older. But one thing, having so many, okay, for example, I'll take myself as an example, right? I have papers published in mental health, right? I have sexual health, physical health, right? So say for example now I see an opportunity that, okay, so let me give an example of the Frontiers in Reproductive Health topic coordinator. I'll give an example for that now. Frontiers in Reproductive Health journal is, of course, as the name sounds, is Reproductive Health journal. And then if you know medical journals, if you know journals rather, they always have publications and all that. I remember that this was around 2021, 2020. I can't remember so well. I think someone sent me the old, okay, they're looking for I think it must be a guest editor. I can't remember so well. For the Reproductive Health Journal. Okay, so I looked at what I had done and I said, okay, I think I have on sexual and reproductive health. And then I applied. Now the truth is that apparently what I applied for, because when they got back to me, they told me that, oh, now 71 at the latest. I'm not just it's can be later than that. They told me that, oh, the person might have experience in reproductive health, right? But apparently the role was for someone with a postdoc. This was 4 years ago. Wow, I had a postdoc at that time. What I wanted to do for me was give me another role, which was more like assisting guest editor. Do you understand that? And I was also for that people to work with. Because what I lot of people with PhD to work with that. Do you get it now? So when you have different profile like that, once opportunity comes, you see an opportunity that is mental health, don't now go and write what you do in sexual health. Then because you would appear to the person viewing it as, are you confused? Do you understand now? So you just go with your mental health front, just that now. Still that one, and it's a digital health application, just switch, same digital health, that way. As you grow old, as you begin to have more opportunities, it also helps you to know which one you get to which one. Help answer the question.
Just a quick one there, right? I don't want us to be very fast because of the want of time. So all the questions we asked now, right? And I think I want to beg our speakers. I know we have a lot to discuss, but please, if you can help us like keep the responses short, which is really a minute to 2 minutes. We would deeply appreciate that. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Obafemi University. My question is to Dr. Shinasa. And this is premised on two things. One from your profile, it was mentioned that you're a resident in ecology, I'm correct, and then from what I've been fair from what you said, you want people to stay build the system and all of that. So as a resident in surgery, urology, how are you able to combine all of this? Because I'm a medical student myself in my finance. The preoccupation of the resident is preparing for money review, how we get per course, preparing for his part 1 exam, and all of this and that. How are you able to merge all of these things together and still thrive in that system? I mean, personally, I really think that if you're an influencer, maybe in the health space, maybe you're not doing residency. That's what I used to think. So, how are you able to combine all of these things? Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Gloria Dejimo from Obafemi University. My question is actually on what we talked about in view, like using the lens of equity, as we were explaining, the difference between equity and equality. Statistically, about out of the population, about 200 million population we have in Nigeria, about 55% of people have no access to internet. And we are leaders that want to make changes in the environment, particularly in the space of health. My question is actually, what policies do you think have been made? Because our primary concerns now are more of people who are in the rural areas who have no access to internet. So how exactly do you want to make changes as leaders in a place whereby, apart from accessibility being the issue, affordability and availability to the internet is also a problem. So how do we make changes even in those areas, considering the problem of no internet? My the second question is on research. For someone who wants to go into systematic reviews as a career as a junior researcher, where do you start from? How do you go about it? Then my second question is also while you're making your research, how do you minimize the risk of bias while making your research? How do you minimize the risk of bias? Yes. For example, you said for you to write your research, you have to read widely and pick from several areas. So how do you accurately prevent things like plagiarism and all those things like that can cause bias in your research? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So my first question is to Dr. Olashino. So I wanted to ask, how do we balance the challenge of fighting misinformation while still keeping content relatable and accessible to diverse audiences? All right, my second question is to Dr. Oyedele. And my question is about, so you spoke about leadership, advocacy, and how we have to get skills. And also I wanted to ask, what tools or frameworks can help us translate grassroots stories from social media into policy relevant evidence? Especially, now this is because policy making is a big issue, so it's able to identify different things, build skills around them. But how can you actually translate these things and then to things that can work, really work for a place like Nigeria?
Thank you so much for your teachings. My question is directed to Dr. Adewale Opayale. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it well. What role does vision and commitment play in overcoming obstacles and achieving success in situations that are not, in unsuccessful situations.
Thank you very much. I have a question here with me, and I think I will direct it to Dr. Bayeli. It says, as a medical laboratory student at UI, I want to ask, how can I be eligible for international health opportunities and global research contributions to the growth in the health sector of the world? So I think we can start from Dr. Shima and then move to Dr. Bayeli and then Yusuf.
All right, thank you very much for the questions. First, I see a lot of OAU people asking questions. So earlier this year, I was going to be in OAU, but the folks are your executive messed up, so you can ask them why I didn't come to OAU. Oh, well, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. I'm actually invited me. I'm going to be in OAU, so just saying. So I'm not a resident in neurology. It is neurology, not neurology. So I'm a senior registrar in new, like brain and stuff, internal medicine. So not neurology. A lot of people don't know. Because I don't really put that part out on social media. I'm a senior registrar in neurology. And apart from that, though my bio was not right, I also I'm a co-founder of a health startup, and also just a growing one and some other things. How do I balance my time with? So a lot of you don't even know I'm a resident doctor because I don't put that side of me out there. And how do I balance all of this? One is I have timing. I have people in the team like Dr. David Adebayo here is with me. He helps with all of this thing. For the startup issue, also I have people that also help me. So timing also, because I know I have to see patients, I have registrars, I have house officers, I have to teach medical students, so I have time for that. I also try to have time for social media, and also since I work with a lot of brands, federal government, and all of that, I try to have time. Like I said, one can master versatility, and it's something that you practice and you do. You can also do it. It's not big, you just have to have your time. When you want to sleep, there's some time that off social media, and you understand, and yes, you can always incorporate. So I think for me, I have a team, and because of what I'm doing, I make sure it's segmented so it does not clash. When I'm on word rounds and all of this, I'm doing that. So yeah, so it's not. I'm not in Euro like Wall Street and stuff. I'm in neurology, so in neurology. Okay, did I answer the question? Well, you need to practice. So don't try to do that at the medical student now. Please pass your part 4, please. So before you okay. The question on how do we make policies that can target like people in rural health space, especially pertaining to digital health media for those that don't have internet? One thing is that if you're going to cater for that demographic, you need to leverage on digital health tools that are maybe don't operate with internet. Use of USSD codes, talk of outreaches. You also have to work with stakeholders. So in that demographic of people, you will find out that their opinion shapers are people like religious leaders, market women used to have like Yaloja, all those kind of people. So you have to work hand in hand with them. You have to leverage on radio stations because many of them, trust me, they watch radio stations. These are the kind of people you're going to talk about making content in local dialect. And trust me, a lot of those people still use things like Facebook and TikTok. So you will not have to watch it. Are you going to do it in Yoruba, Hausa, and all of that? Because you'll be able to do on grassroots. Partnering with them, religious leaders, churches, outreaches, have flyers that can tackle things, and that's when you scale. And for you to get through to them, if you have a data bank, USSD codes, trust me, you read it. You understand? A lot of them use apps like OPay, and PAMPay, collaborate with fintech companies that way, and in a way that we'll be able to get through to people like the Okada riders, the people like grassroots. So those are strategies that can be employed. How do you find misinformation with the right information? Basically putting out the right information and make it relatable. For myself, I'm going to make a content on maybe something like David, give me the word. Something like
eating egg.
Eating eggs. Well, that's kind of abstract. I don't know. For example, toilet infection, something like that. I'll use related words. If I'm going to say, you just use words that are so related, because why people have misconceptions is because things are complex. So you have to demystify, make it simple so that the medical student, the market woman can understand. Another thing is it must be evidence-based. You also need to know what you are doing and arm yourself, because if you put out the content, especially if you are doing stuff on the health space, not entertainment, people will ask questions, you must understand. Because if you don't, this is the world, this is the time of people have AI, Google and all of that. If you say rubbish, people will clock you that, you better run away from this person. So I think these are strategies. And I'll probably send my email to the organizers and we still have questions. And those of you that want to do internal medicine, if anyone doing neurology, you can always send me and I'll be glad to maybe mentor you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. There was a question about the role of vision and commitment in overcoming obstacle. I want to tell you that if you have a big vision, you have a big goal, or you have a question desiring your answers, be prepared for the obstacle. If the answers were that easy, it would have been solved. It wouldn't have made the nagging problem for you to identify. So when you've identified something you want to do, you set a vision on something, and okay, you talked about commitment too, and you're committed to it. How come the obstacle? You need to be persistent. You will always have ups and downs. Some things will discourage you, some part of even your team that you expect all the support from will discourage you. Environmental factors that are beyond you will discourage you. But if you give up, then you've lost it. Just be persistent. When you don't feel like moving on, just keep moving, and it will take shape gradually. And that's why the research you do on your vision matters. As long as what you are targeting is viable, is promising, it's worth it, just be persistent, and eventually you will always break through. And the question from the medical lab scientist asking how I could be eligible for global opportunities. Yes, there are many opportunities that you can tap into, but I think you can narrow it down by identifying which space, which kind of opportunity do you want. Is it like you want to seek opportunity in the research field? Then you have to know people to follow, people that have gone ahead of you and are big in big universities, that have good research portfolios. Then you can start seeking maybe internship in their laboratory to gain entry-level experience, maybe postgraduate studies in their research team. And if you go as far as the PhD, do PhD, postdoc, and all this stuff, they are always there. If you decide to go into the industry, in the industry as a medical lab scientist, you also have a lot of application. Reagents, test kits, all these things are constantly being researched and developed. You can key into that aspect. It can even be in terms of equipment, medical lab equipment, especially in Nigeria where we have the population and we are not really producing much. They send all these things to Nigeria. They need people who know the terrain to push it into the system, to market to where they are needed. So you have applications. You have to identify where you want to feature, and then you start building bridges towards achieving that. And reach out if you can get a mentor on LinkedIn, leverage on that network to get people in the field. I think those are the two that were directed at me. Thank you.
Okay, so the first question on systematic review, where do you start from? Okay, well, I'll say to start, look for somebody else who has done a systematic review. That can be a starting point, actually. Right. The thing with research is that you don't have to figure out everything on your own, and that's the thing with life generally. Look for somebody else who has done it. The people who systematic reviews, like, if you can see if they are, like, it's something they do regularly, do you understand? So you can actually just reach out to them. She also has a business academy, you can use business academy, collaborate with other people, do systematic review. Then the other question on how to avoid bias, that's I think based on what I said, that people will not write beyond what they read. And that's why most times you see research articles, you always like a team of authors. Why? Because it just makes sense that because you have quite a number of people on it, they probably not be at the same level when it comes to knowledge, right? Because I also have first authors, some people have to senior authors, and like students. So that way, there's somebody else who can review. And if, for example, you end up writing something, maybe say, among yourself, right? People you think that you're technically on the same level when it comes to knowledge, you can always give more senior people for review. And that's why I made examples of the fact that sometimes you think that the ideas you have is the best idea, right? And then you see another paper, and then you wonder, okay, am I wrong, or what was I thinking of? And that's why collaboration, that's why research is important. You connect it up, just to be sure that, oh, whatever you are right, you've done as much research as possible. Sometimes you may not end up doing so much wide reading, because wide reading is also oftentimes a product of how well you can also engage to also, do you understand now? I mean, if you compare somebody who's a medical student and someone who is a resident doctor, medical student reads in quotes at the level of resident doctor, because he does not have that experience clinically, there's certain things that will still be abstract, you get, and that's why giving other people your work to review solves a lot of problem. When it comes to plagiarism, well, my advice is when it comes to plagiarism, I think the reason people plagiarize, apart from the main reasons of plagiarism, is because of the way they write. Copy, cut, edit. That's really often what causes plagiarism. A whole lot. And what's the way to write instead? When you have a topic to write in short sentences first. Write as if you're just writing. Except if what you are writing is the business of business is business. Or it's so, okay. I want to do that to that extent. We have people who are more health-based or more medical inclined, right? Except you're writing something like the business of business, or you're something about social economy or capitalist economy or something. Whatever you're writing, as long as it's a bit health-based, because I have, you definitely will have an idea. I mean, you may not have the full knowledge, right? But you have an idea. So you can write out those ideas. You can even put XXX, dash, 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 and then as you write, you can read and then now fill in the gaps. If you write that way, you are less likely to plagiarize. Now, it's something you don't know about at all, like the example of social economy and whatever. I think that's why I want essay on that. I was like, man, I don't do this. You can just take out your time. You can probably reach like read up, like, okay, you want best way to what articles could be recommended or write something, read, keep reading, and then write it down. But if you read to write, you're more likely to plagiarize. Thank you.
Alright. Please, can we appreciate our speakers, please? Come on, I want us to stand up like we have been. Don't be tired. Don't worry, food is ready. Sorry, brunch is ready. I want us to stand up. I want us to specially thank our speakers. They've poured so much into us today. I think giving them a special round of applause will not be something that will be too much for us to do. So wait. Let's do a special one. Come on. One. Make it louder. 2, 3. Come on, I can't tell the sound of a clap. 4. And then we are 5. Come on. Alright, so I want us to echo these words. Thank you, Dr. Shino. Thank you, Dr. Shino. I know you are tired, but please put in some energy. Thank you, Dr. Shino. Thank you, Dr. Opayele. Thank you, Ruth Oladele. I want please jam our hands together for them, please. Alright, shortly before they take their leave, right? We'll be having a break now, and also we're taking pictures with our speakers, some here and some outside. And we'll be resuming within the next 20 minutes. Right? Please ensure you make one or two. Sorry, I want to apologize. They said it's the full med, sir.
The dental, because it seems like I said a foam sir. So please just correct.
Yes, sir. And I also want to apologize on the agenda.
Or is it the medical or the dental people?
Dental, if you, sir. But I also want to apologize because I assist the association. So for anything we did, we are very sorry.
Alright, apologies accepted.
Thank you very much, Bishop Adi, for the correction. And thank you very much, Dr. Shino, for also acknowledging that. So in the next 20 minutes, please go back. Ensure you go down. I don't know. Yes. Alright. So let's quickly have pictures with our speakers. And when we do that, we are going to teach come on board as well. And some other things to follow up as well. Thank you. Dr. Shimasa, we are taking you to the stage. Just wait. Isaac, please. LOC members, please. Let's go fast, please.
Okay.
I'm a music report, please. I really want to see. Nelson, please.
Nelson, not producer. Don't worry, Nelson. Don't worry.
What are we saying? Someone should give us a suggestion, please. Alright, so what are we saying? Well, I'm going to record on that. I'm going to record on the line.
Okay, after the phones, he will take one, right? So please, guys with the phones. Are you taking a video?
Yeah, please let. Alright, so when I say big moves, you say bold impact. Are you ready? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. When I say bold moves, you say bold impact. Sorry, pardon me. Don't crucify me, please. Alright, so bold moves. Okay. Alright. So when I say E Nexus 2025, you say what? Come on, that energy is low. Bring it high. Alright, let's see. Alright. Are you ready? EU Nexus 2025. EU Nexus 2025. EU Nexus 2025. Hello everyone. Please, if you want to get your bronze, kindly find your way downstairs now. Right? Please remember very soon in the next 20 minutes. Okay. Just to come back like back. Please, if you want to get your bronze, please find your way to the back and we will stand properly. Thank you. Just get. Your 5 minutes. Thank you. like I said, you want to get your brunch, go to the bank now and get your brunch. You have a limited time for break. Thank you.
Come on, let's come to it. By the way, no. I can't agree. No. It's subjective because I've never been there before. Yeah. I'm hoping to actually come on. I've had to look at that. Thank God. Welcome to the I'll welcome you. Where are you getting? They don't do TV. Come on, you ask me, I'll take it. But it's nice here. Carina says, Hola. Well, regardless, I think there's well, it doesn't matter. No, I mean, in the serious sense. Yes, that's what I feel like the surrounding